The type definitions allow us to define the shape of data on the GraphQL server. You can create an object using the type keyword, and as such, I will create a book type which we have an underscore ID property. Book type will be an ID. This is a primitive GraphQL type that represents a unique ID. The book document will have a title property which will be a string, a page property which will be a number, and its published property which will be a boolean, a created art property which will be a string, and an updated art property which will also be a string. I will add an author type which will represent an author object. It will have an underscore ID property, a name property, and an email property. The book type will have an author property which type will be the author type. We need to define a query next. The query type is what defines the type of data we can fetch from the GraphQL server. This is how we make read requests to the GraphQL server, and as such, I will add a books query which will resolve to an array of books. The exclamation mark ensures that there must be an array, and the array cannot contain any null values for a book object. I will add a book query which accepts an ID argument which is of type ID, and it will resolve to a book object. I will add an authors query which resolves to an array of author objects, and I also add an author query that accepts an ID argument which resolves to an author object. Notice that we can define a query that looks like a function type definition in TypeScript. This allows us to pass parameters to the server, much like how we can pass query parameters or route parameters to a normal REST server. Next